Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Overhauled with the Diesel Queen. Today I have on here a very special guest. We have been mutuals on social media pages for many years. I'd like to introduce you to Missy. Can you give us a little introduction about yourself, tell us about your journey and what you're currently doing for a living?
My name is Missy, and I'm known as Diesel Girl online. I've been in the industry for over 20 years, working on trucks. Took a little break in between, worked on cars, and then I ended up getting a job working with school buses. And from there, I built software programs to do maintenance and did books and stuff like that. I really like building books, and I had an opportunity to work for an international IC dealership for school buses. So I did that for 6 years, and then I moved on to truck. So I have both my masters in IC school bus and IC or IH truck, and currently working on ASCs. Do so I'm okay. So I am the ambassador as well for International Female Technicians for Recruitment for Tech Empowerment Program that Navistar International Trucks has. I am the advisor, one of the four advisors for our WIND Women in Navistar Network, a new program that we're in development right now, and we've been doing this for about a year now. And then I am a ASC writer for School Bus One. I am going to be writing an op-ed for Fleet Maintenance magazine. I also am a part of association with them as well for an advisory panel for Fleet Maintenance magazine. So recently I've been in multiple press releases, magazines, feature covers, cover features, and then I do a lot of promo modeling on top of that. And then with that, I do commercial modeling. So I'm trying to work behind the scenes to change the way the industry is as well. I have a lot, a lot, and I feel bad if I'm missing anything
Oh,
because I feel like
you got a
I'm
lot on
missing
your
stuff.
plate, girl. You have a
A
lot
lot.
on your plate.
Yeah, I got two kids, a 17-year-old daughter and a just turned 6-year-old son. So I am like just, I very geared to address and fix this industry while maintaining and doing my own job, and being a parent on top of all that stuff. So it's a very, very exciting and a lot of work. A
Well,
lot
you've
of work.
earned it. You've earned your place though, right? At least you can
Yeah,
say
I
you've
love it.
earned your success and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
so
so
there's
I
that.
actually I work I did leave something. All right, so I work for Taylor and Lloyd. That's in Bedford, Mass. That place it's awesome. I have the best mentor that you could ever ask for, Joe Doherty. I can't even explain the growth that I've been able to have coming out of the school bus into the truck world. Um, it's amazing. So I am lead diagnostics as a senior technician um, in my shop, and I love it. I love problem solving. That's probably like one of my and transmissions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I do on my daily is I work for them, and then on my free time, Friday through
Your
Sunday,
free time.
on my free time between surfing and my children, I do everything else. So
Well, it's cool because like, you know what you and I were kind of talking before we click record is that you and I kind of have a very similar thing going on, right? Like we're not just mechanics, right? We're trying to, dabble in, well, I'm trying, you're actually doing, dabbling into the modeling and the feminine side of being a woman, yet our day jobs are in a man's industry, working in a man's shop, in man's clothes, getting dirty. And like, I find that I like that because there's not that many women that do both. And, especially I've met a couple and, all of them have the same story of like hate on social media and like getting shit on because God forbid you wear makeup to work or you're putting like rock lights on your truck and someone complains that you're wearing leggings. Like, like everybody's got something to say, right? You can't win. You're either too clean and there's no way you're a mechanic because you're too clean, or you're so dirty that you did it on purpose and you're just looking for attention. It's like, I can't win. I can't fucking win with you guys. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Yep. No, not at all. And the thing is, look at, so I get nails, right? So these things come off and on all year round. Like, I can have them and then I can't have them. It really depends. Like, what, can I afford to keep them on? Because I can't grow my normal nails. The only way I can grow my nails is if I use 404 Loctite glue. You just dabble it all on your nails, right? And then you put your color over it. I'm telling you, it's awesome. It's shop tips.
You were the first person I have ever heard using Loctite as fingernail polish, like primer.
Yeah, you gotta strengthen those things.
I've never, like, my nails right now, like, are the longest they've been. Like, I when I was working in the industry, I could never keep them this long. Well, I would, right? Like, one would stay long. Yeah. But then, like, all the other ones are broken, and then you look weird because you've got, like, one nail's really long and then all the other ones are ripped off.
No, that's the one that I use the most.
Right? Right? You gotta have the pointer finger with the long nail so you can dig into shit. The struggles that men will never understand.
Yeah, they don't. Actually, women's the pants. Oh my God, unisex pants. I am, like, working so hard to get like, instead of boot incentives, but pant incentives, like, across the board. I am looking for this because I am so sick of trying to hike up my pants to climb up an engine or hike up my pants to climb under a truck. It's so irritating.
Because you wear guys' pants and the crotch is, like, this long. And you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Shorter.
The best jeans I ever had was, like, they're like, so Cintas makes women's jeans, but your dealership has to pay for the Carhartt women's Carhartt line, right? Like, they can't just order the pants, they have to pay the subscription for it, or you have to order FR pants, which are, like, as you know, but viewers might not, fire resistant pants, which is what I wore for years because that was the only women's jeans they offered. And the smallest size they offered was, when I first started wearing them, still kind of baggy. And they were jeans. Like, once I started working out and gaining weight, then, like, I fit into them. But if you're petite, good fucking luck finding pants.
That's why
in this industry.
That's what it is. It is. So I've been wearing Torque clothing pants, TORKQ.
They messaged me on Instagram.
Yes, please talk to her. She is awesome. I love. I'm trying to actually destroy her pants right now. So I've worn 5'11" gals, and like, I don't do uniforms anymore at my work. I was pregnant and I really had an issue with even getting the sizes for me, which we can talk about a little later. But so I ended up going and doing my own uniforms, and these pants, I'm putting them through the test right now, like, literally. Not like it's not a ripstop pant or anything. It's just it's a pant, and it has, like, double knees. I love the pockets. I can't even express how much the pockets are amazing. So I own a bunch of those in shorts also as well. And it's just such a cute brand, and it's form fitting, and my crotch is right where it should be. So like, I can actually.
Well, you want it, like, a little high, right? To tuck your shirt in. But you don't need the crotch so tall that you gotta hike them up to your tits, right? Like,
it's true. It's real.
My boss is probably gonna cut that segment out. Melissa, you're not allowed to say tits. All right, Mike. Sorry.
Just bleep. No, but it's real. That's a real thing. I could hike men's pants up to here.
It's a real comment, guys.
Like, like, I don't get it. I really wish that there was more, but I do understand so I did look at the jeans, the women's jeans, and I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, I don't even know how to size myself in these jeans. Like they're
Well,
asking like men's sizes. It's not like, to me, it's not women's sizes. Like I'm used to.
mine were, I'd have to send you a picture of the label because I ended up on accident keeping a couple pair of work pants over the 7 years I've worked at
Who
dealerships, right?
doesn't?
Because it gets fucking lost and then you move and you're like, after 2 months of quitting your job, you're like, ooh, pants. I'd have to send you, they're not Carhartt, but they are women's styled FR pants. And I think they're like size, I want to say 2 or 4.
Oh, regular sizes. Yeah, not
Yeah,
like
they're
27,
regular
28,
sizes.
29.
Yeah, they're not like the
I was
men's.
like,
Yeah, they're regular sizing and they're FR, which for heavy equipment is like they were amazing. They were
yeah,
kind of hot in the summer. But I could grind and weld and do whatever the fuck
and
I
you have
wanted and I never had to worry about it.
yeah,
Never had to worry about it. I have like a hole in the knee of one of those pairs of pants, but I literally have had that pairs of pants. I think I've had them for like 5 years. So it's like they've been through a lot, right?
yeah,
They've been through a lot. The girl with the torque, she messaged me on Instagram and I was a little skeptical because, brands message me all the time wanting free advertisement for product, right? And I'm just to
yeah,
the point with my social media where it's like my content is worth more than just the product, unless, depending on what the product is, right?
yeah,
Um, and I was a little skeptical because I fucking hate. I've never tried her pants, but I've tried like the non-jean style uniform pants, and I fucking
yeah,
hated them. I
yeah,
fucking hated them. So I didn't. She hasn't messaged me back. I asked her kind of what she was looking for because I'm not really sure if she's like just trying to get my opinion on them or whatever. I would love to have a uniform because now I don't work in a shop anymore. I'd love to have my own uniform to be able to go out into the shop and not trash my personal clothes. Like have overalls and have a uniform set that has like Melissa and then MP Diesel, for my company and shit like that. But I don't know if she makes shirts or not. But I'm glad you mentioned her pants because I just got a message from her like 2 or 3 days ago. So if
yeah,
you say they're good, I
yeah,
might
yeah.
try them out.
Yeah, I just like I said, I'm trying to destroy them, and that's what I want to do. Is like I kind of want to give her the best feedback possible. So I've been in touch with her, gosh, for like a few years now. The bandanas and the cute little hair things, I was able to take
Yeah.
her symbols and I sent her over a pattern of her symbols that I thought would look nice. And she totally was like, "Oh my God, I love it." And she started doing bandanas and then she did other patterns, and she's always up and willing for if somebody has an idea or anything like that. Like she's one of the easiest women to work with in the industry for like entrepreneurship, for sure. So I would
That's
definitely
good
reach
to
out.
know.
Yeah, yep,
I,
love her.
I work
You
with a clothing company called Drop the Hammer Design.
know?
And the cute little fucking redhead girl that runs that, that's all she does is like truck shit, right? Truck shit and Jeep shit and like she has a clothing company and that's all she does is like mechanic shit, truck shit, car shit. Like she's got all kinds of cool designs that she makes herself. And she's actually the one that made my turbo. I don't think it's on this one. She made my turbo logo that I don't
This
know if
one?
you've seen. The
Are you
one with
holding two turbos?
the D and the Q.
Oh no, yes,
Um
yes. I saw that
The
one.
it's just a simple like DQ
I like that.
turbos. Yeah, she made that because I had the green tractor one where I'm holding a turbo, and then I also have an excavator version of that one. And I went to go try to I'm like, I need something way more simple than that. Like I can that is way too much to be a logo. I need something simpler. So I came to her and I'm like, hey, like I need this logo. I need it to be simple. Here's my idea. And she just knocked out this simple ass design. I think I paid like $60 for it. Totally worth it. And she's actually gonna help me. She's working on helping me launch a clothing line. Uh with like the Diesel Queen brand. So I'm excited for that. But I'd love to have a work uniform.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently working on right now. So like the one that I have and that I wear is the one I use the torque pants, and then I made my own shirt. So like any film or any like video or any interviews or pictures or anything like that. Commercial, like anything commercial print. So like I'll end up just wearing this uniform and promoting it like that. I think it's pretty cool because it has like the wrench and the lipstick. It's a little feminine, but like not too feminine.
Yeah.
So I like that little pop. But yeah, I'm trying to destroy them. I'll let you know how that works out.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
excited.
interested to know, especially since you're not just an automotive mechanic, right?
Yeah.
You're
Oh no,
a
I'm
heavy
climbing.
equipment mechanic.
Yeah. So
So
I blow crotches. I blow out like pockets. Anything that is loose. So like, and I say crotches because they hang low. So like
yep.
in these pants, I haven't snagged my crotch.
That's good. That's
So this is
positive.
positive. And again, I don't have to pull up my pants anytime I need to go like up or down. So, I don't know. It's so weird because like the industry is so geared towards like, men.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
So,
honestly, can you blame them? Because the
uh,
majority of people are
no,
men.
yeah,
So it's like,
it's
it's
just
not
so
really
crazy.
their fault, to an extent. It's not really their
Right.
fault. I just like, I want, like, I tell uniform companies, it's like, dude, just give us one line.
Yeah.
We don't need a shitload of options, right?
Yeah.
We just want one line of like size 2 and up,
That's all
right?
right. Or something. Like, even, yeah. I mean, like, not even that. Like, give us the option. Do we want to wear low waisted? Do we want to wear high waisted? Like, give us like some sort of option because I'll tell you what, I am the only one that does not allow anything to show in my shop. And those poor men, I don't understand even how they're wearing their uniforms, but like, I don't want to be like that. So like I
Yeah.
really, I like clothing that actually fits my body.
Yeah. Well, it's more comfortable, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, to an extent, you don't want jeans or pants that are so fucking tight that,
No.
like,
No.
there is such thing as too tight.
Yes,
I like
absolutely.
my work pants to be form fitting, but a little loose. Like, it's
Yes.
slightly loose, right?
Yep.
Slightly loose. So it's
You get to
comfortable.
move around room.
But, like, what some men don't understand is us women, if we feel good about ourselves and we feel like we're comfortable and we feel like we look good, we will perform so much better
Yeah. I mean,
than
it's
if
a
we're
confidence
constantly
thing.
worrying about, like, it's not that we necessarily give a shit what our coworkers say, and it's not really that we're trying to impress our coworkers. It's like our personal thing. Like when we walk in the mirror in the bathroom, we're like, oh my God, I look horrible. Right? Like
Yes.
that will ruin our entire fucking day. So like,
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. I swear by that same thing. It's just the last thing that you want to do is feel uncomfortable walking out the door. And that
yep.
will be the only thing you'll be thinking about all day long is that one thing that bothers you.
Well, and it
And
happens the other way around too, right? Like even out in public, like like you put on shorts and you're like, yeah, these are comfortable, and then you start walking and they ride up, and you're
uh,
constantly having to pull them down, right? Like that's fucking annoying too.
there it is.
So it's not just like, oh, I don't want to wear loose clothes. No, it's fucking there's such thing as too
Yes,
risque too for some of us in
of
public,
course.
right? Like,
But let's hands down. It comes first and foremost. It's safety, and that's what that is. It's not. It's nothing more than being safe. So like that for me, the principle about having women wear women pants, not unisex pants. Unisex is just an excuse for men to design something that in case women are a part of, they have this option.
yeah.
And unfortunately times have been extremely outdated, and not all the industry is mindset is like mine, uh, and like yours. So sometimes I just don't think things are happening fast enough.
Yeah. I remember the very, very first shop I worked in was actually an international dealership. And
McCandless.
McCandless, yes. I worked for
Yes.
McCandless for 3 to 4 months. And that was my very first experience in the industry, and they didn't have a separate bathroom.
Yeah.
They had a single stall bathroom that you had to share. And it wasn't even sharing it with the guy mechanics, honestly, that bothered me. It was sharing it with the fucking gross ass truck drivers. That's what bothered me. I have plenty of stories of piss bottles, and I'm sure you do too, right? Piss bottles, like you walk into a cab and you can smell that certain activities have been happening, and you're like, this is fucking gross, dude. Like, open your fucking window and air this place out. We've had like
empty your bottles.
Or you throw them, or I don't know, like out. Stop at a fucking truck stop and take a dude, stopping on the side of the road and pissing outside, like every fucking man I've ever met in my life. Like, I've never met a man in my life that is not okay with stopping on the side of the road and taking a piss.
Right?
Like, it's not rocket science.
Oh my God. I thought, I know I'm not the only one, but I seriously don't hear people talk about that enough. But yes, some drivers are gross. It's so gross.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I've worked in trucks where like I had to go to my boss at the time. Thank God she was a woman. And I'm like, dude, this truck smells of piss and another particular man fluid, right? And this is fucking gross. I cannot work on this. I am not going to work on this truck. And at first she's like, she thought I was being a diva at first, right? She's like, you might be being a diva. And then one of the dudes walked in. He's like, yeah, I ain't touching that motherfucking thing either. Right. And then she's like, okay, we'll turn him away. And like the reason I actually left McCandless was because we were like really low on work and we didn't have any work. And me and one other kid were the new kids. So our hours were getting cut and I was only getting like 40-hour paychecks. So I was only working like 20 hours a week, maybe. And I'm like, yeah, I just bought a house. I can't afford this in Denver, Colorado. Right. Like, yeah, I can't afford this. So Hanan was actually, I got laughed. where are you from?
I'm in Boston, like outside of Boston.
Okay.
So, like,
you probably won't get this reference then. There's this truck company. You might know who these are, but there's a truck company in Denver called Western Distributing Co.
Okay, yeah.
And
yeah.
You know them?
I've
seen shiny chrome, right? Their chrome's always spotless, light blue.
Beautiful trucks.
Yep. Like the trailers chrome is spotless, like it's ridiculous. I really wanted to work there. I got laughed out of that shop because I was told I was going to be a distraction. That's honestly the only time I was ever told I didn't get hired because I was going to be a distraction. Which I said, whatever, right? And then all the other truck shops, like actually the only positions they had available were night shifts. And I'm also like, fuck that. Yeah. And Hanan was the only place that would hire me. Yeah. So I just like fell into John Deere on accident. And then obviously I didn't go back to trucks. Right. I stayed in equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like I always thought that I wanted to rebuild engines my entire life. Like,
everybody does. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So this is the typical dream probably for some people. I wanted to be either on the driver's side or on the passenger side, NASCAR rebuilding engine, like for the rest of my life. I just wanted to take that apart and put it together in minutes and then have it drive and not blow up. My goals in life, right? So that's what kept me going. It's what kept me like, sober. It kept me, kind of geared into like, separating myself from my family because they didn't want me to be a mechanic. So I had to, have that focus, in my head. But it's so funny. I've never rebuilt an engine ever.
Most people in this industry haven't. It is way more, especially international. I mean, fuck, I helped with one rebuild on a DT466. Other than that, it was a single cylinder rebuild or a crate engine or whatever. Like, no offense to international, but they get the name Intertrational from them goddamn Max Force engines.
No, I don't disagree with that. What happened was that they tried to go not in the SCR direction. And in the beginning, it was exactly what everybody wanted, no DEF. And so they went aggressive EGR. Yeah. Ended up biting them, but it doesn't matter.
Isuzu did the same thing. Yeah.
We get the work.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I was told like international is like job security, I guess.
Yeah,
That's why I
well,
always told people, they're like, why don't you like Ford and why don't you like Power Stroke? It's like, because I worked on the parent
yeah,
engines of those engines, and I think the Huey system is trash. I think the having a high pressure oil system that uses dirty engine oil for hydraulics is a horrible fucking idea. Like I don't like, I worked on these things, and in the shop I worked in, there's at least one single cylinder engine rebuild. Granted, the max force obviously is different
yeah,
than
it's a different.
the
They did
you
something
know
different on that one.
V8 version of it, of international. But so I told people, I'm like, dude, I worked for fucking international.
See, everything that you're saying is the reason why I love them.
I
I
like
like,
that's why I don't like Ford. Like,
yeah, I'm
honestly,
like,
some of the trucks look cool,
listen,
but I'm
Melissa.
not gonna buy it.
When you
I
have
would much.
somebody, when you have somebody go, oh, I got fuel pressure problems. Well, what engine are you on? Like, no,
Yeah.
no, honey, you got some oil problems.
Yeah, that's your high pressure oil pump.
No,
A
I
what?
love,
Yeah, that's a high
I
pressure oil pump.
I love Huey injectors. I think, and I am probably, I'm the opposite of what you're saying. I absolutely love them so much, and I love them so much is because that's what I was introduced to. So
Yeah.
common rail is very foreign to me, and when I had to work on common rail systems, I'm like, well, why the shit did they do this? And well, how are
Yep.
like I'm like, why do that? So, and I understand obviously the theories and stuff now.
Well, you
But
obviously, everybody ends up being biased towards what they've
right,
were
yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
raised to think, right?
Exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
like, International Electric to me is the freaking shit. I love International Electric. I will always, always, always say we have the best electric in the world. We have the best wires. We have everything. Problem is people trying to fix it, not hanging it right, poking holes in it,
Yep.
rerouting wires. Like there are some complications within it, but we have the best colors. We have all of our wires numbered, circuits numbered, like everything's numbered. So you can't like mess anything up like at all. That's why I love it so much. And people like think I'm crazy because they think the opposite. I'm like, no, 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 give me the headaches. I don't feel it in my head. I get excited inside. I'm like, all right, let's flip the PDM over. This is how you look at it. Wire side
Yeah.
up.
I
So
like
I'm like,
electrical diagnostics too. I like the puzzles and I like the challenge.
yeah.
Now, when it gets to the point where I've been down a rabbit hole and I've been spinning my wheels for 2 days, when it gets to that point, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking burn this thing to the ground.
I
Fuck
love
this thing,
those.
right?
That's
Like, I
I'm like, oh,
fucking
you guys,
hate
you
that.
have that? Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Let's do this. This is simple. And just it's literally it's just the way my brain works. Like it's just it I can simplify complicated things and I complicate simple things. So
Yeah.
I have wicked backwards style of
I think
all of
every mechanic to an extent, like once you have so much knowledge in your brain
that.
and you've done so much in-depth shit, then easy shit is the shit you end up fucking up. Like, well, I just posted TikTok the other day, like yesterday, about how like I went to change the fucking oil in my dirt bike, right? Like literally the easiest goddamn thing on the planet. And I fucked it up because I completely fucking forgot that the transmission case and the engine case are two separate things.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why that fucking slipped my mind, but I drained the engine oil and then I went around the other side and it says oil. I'm like, oh, it must have a different fill than the dipstick, right? So I just put a quart of oil or close to a quart of oil in that side. And then I looked at the dipstick and there's no oil on it. I'm like, what the fuck? So I YouTube it, right? Because I'm just having a complete fucking brain meltdown. I YouTube it and I'm like, oh my God, there's two different cases. I know this. Like the second I pulled up a YouTube video that said changing transmission oil, I'm like, it clicked, right? I'm like, fuck. My brain just was not braining. It just didn't want to brain that day. I'm like, and then I'm telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I have to go back to the store and get more oil. And he's like, what do you mean? I thought you already changed the oil. I'm like, I did. I did it wrong. I have to go get more oil because there's no dipstick or you can't check the oil in the transmission case. You literally just have to like drain all of it out and then like put the specification in there. So it's like I can't just like drain this out and pray I have the right amount in there. I need to just drain it all out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had my fair share of oops moments.
Oh my God.
You know, I think we've all accidentally left a drain plug out of something and started putting oil in it and didn't realize it until there's a puddle of oil on the floor.
Yep.
I think we've all zip tied an oil fill pump, right? So it fucking, especially on like big engines or hydraulic systems, you zip tie the fucking handle so it auto pumps, and then you fucking forget about it, and then you have oil coming out of the top of the fucking hydraulic tank. Like we've all done shit like that. Anybody tells you that they've never done stupid shit is lying. They're fucking lying.
Yep, no, we all do it. And not only that, the infamous put your tool down and go to grab it 5 seconds later and it's not there.
Yeah, it's gone. You're like, what the fuck? Or God forbid, like, I don't know about you, but if I put it away and then I go back to what I'm doing and then I go to look for it, I'm like, where the fuck is my tool? I'm like, oh, I put it away. For once, I put my tool away.
Oh my gosh. Nope. I'm with you there. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have, like the opposite feeling for my brands. Like I'm very passionate for my brand. And it's I don't know if it's like I've always been like, oh well, if you're gonna be Boston Red Sox, I'm gonna be like Michigan, whatever. Like maybe I don't like to join bandwagons, but I can definitely say that I absolutely am very passionate for my brand. Hands down, I'll never go to another brand.
That's how I feel about John Deere, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that's what raised me, right? It was John Deere.
Right. Yeah.
And like, I know Caterpillar makes better equipment on certain things, right? Like, I know that. I'm well aware. I know for forestry equipment that no one beats Tiger Cat. No one can hold a candle to fucking Tiger Cat, right? Like, I know that, but I still love my John Deere, right? I still love the fucking, and I didn't even start on the like typical John Deere ag side, right? Like John Deere green and tractors and all. I started on the fucking construction side. You know how much shit I got from my dad the first day I started at John Deere? He's like, well, you're gonna have plenty of fucking work cut out for you. And even though I love John Deere and I post John Deere, and that's the thing though, is you get passionate about these brands and you work for it for so long, the downfalls, right?
Yeah.
You know where the brand is good and where it succeeds and where they're doing well. Yeah. And then you know where all the fucking problems are, especially mechanics. We know where all the fucking problems are, right? We know all the common problems,
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. And just doing anything electric. So Navistar bread, literally my first mentor, Ronnie King, huge supporter then, now, everything. And I've actually been able to work with him side by side, which is mind blowing to be able to do that with a mentor. But I can't even explain just how bred I have been in Navistar products. So I don't know anything but Navistar product when it comes to, and Cummins, obviously Cummins, because we use their systems and engines and stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, again, it like you're saying, I mean, it's like once you're bred, it's like you're in it for life. Like I bleed International. I bleed Navistar. So I just love them.
Well, you get comfortable with it, right? It's familiar and it's comfortable, and not that it's not challenging, obviously, but it's so much better. It's so much better to have if you know how to use your manuals, your diagnostic equipment, you know how the systems work, you know how, it makes your job so much easier to just know. You have all those mental tools in your tool belt from working on the same product for so many years. Yeah. And that's how I am with John Deere. Even though a loader is drastically different, this is why I love equipment, right? Is you could work for John Deere, but the ag side's completely different. Every single piece of fucking yellow is different. Excavators up until a year ago weren't even Deere, and they're still not really Deere. They're fucking Hitachi. So it's like it's such different, drastically different systems and different ways they do things, and it's always a challenge, always.
Yeah.
And I love that about equipment. And it's, you get to go dig in the fucking dirt when you're done with it, which is an added benefit, but
Yeah. That's the true thing. So I call myself a maneuverer. I don't have my CDL. I can't drive long, but I maneuver around, around, around. I love
Yeah.
maneuvering every piece of equipment around any truck wheelbase. Like if I have anything with reels in the front, or like cranes, or just, I mean,
Mhm.
there's so much variable in being able to fix and then have similar problems, but it's different because of those variables. And then the road testing, and it's just, oh my god, it's literally being paid to be a kid.
Right? Right. When I first started at the Hanan shop, I had an old mechanic by the name of Don Meany, and he is fucking amazing. I love that old guy. He's fucking awesome. He has a heart of gold and the sense of humor of a child, and he's just amazing, right? I freaking love Don. And he was probably like 65 when I started working there. Like he was getting up there, and he looked at us one day and he's looking at the fucking break table and he's like, "You know what? I'm fucking surprised they pay us for this shit, because this is literally like just an adult daycare." And I'm like, "That's accurate." And the more I worked in the field, I'm like, "That is so accurate."
Yeah, it's
All
for
we
sure.
are is playing with hammers and wrenches, and sometimes we use our brain, right? And
Yeah,
then we get to go play in the dirt. And it's
yeah.
like being a kid, only with giant toys, not little Tonka toys. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
It's fucking awesome. The tires are big, the machines are big. I always was one of those people that, like, the bigger the machine, the more I wanted to work on it, right?
yes,
Give
yes,
me the
absolutely.
biggest fucking machine in the yard to work on. I don't care what I'm doing to it. Give me that thing. Or give me big jobs. I've always been like that. And I had one boss at one point in time, like he had a 470 sitting in the yard, which is a 47 metric ton excavator, which is not the biggest excavator, but it's it's getting up there. It's pretty big in John Deere and Hitachi line of John Deere, not including shovels and mining shovels and shit like that. It's pretty decent size. Um, and I want to work on the 470. And he's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. He's like, fucking fine. He's like, no one else will take this motherfucker. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
work on it. Give me that thing. And I was dubbed the excavator queen for like a month, because that's all I fucking touched for like a month was excavators. People are gonna make fun of me for how I say that. I say excavator, and sometimes I say excavator instead of the excavator. Whatever. But I was like dubbed excavator queen for like a month, because every machine I got was an excavator, a rental
Oh my
return
god.
excavator. But I was
Oh,
happy. I love those machines. They're like one of my favorites.
that's awesome.
I
That's
can
so
dig the
cool.
fuck out of a hole with an excavator. I can't run machines for shit, but an
Back in the day.
excavator, I can dig a fucking basement with that thing.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, like in my shop, we're a specialty shop. So like I specialize in headaches, electrical diagnostics, repair, anything that's been exhausted from other shops comes to here, and I'll get it. But my on the mechanic side, I get to do transmissions, and like I can't even express how excited I am when I was able to do my own self study. So I did a lot of high speed film, and then critique it like with my boss and stuff, and where I lost time, where I can gain time. So I've been doing this for like, I don't know, past like 4 or 5 years, and like as a self study. So like it helps my performance. So like if I'm dropping out the entire drive shaft, like the first time I did it, and this isn't really too long ago, this is only probably like 3, 4 years ago back, right? So
Mhm.
I have 3 carrier bearings, and I wasn't sure, unsure, because nobody has ever really showed me how
Yeah.
to how to drop the entire line out. So I had my transmission undone, and I had the carrier bearings undone, and I had the other yoke undone. But what I didn't know is it bound in the smile. So everything held itself together in it. And I'm like, I'm going crazy. I literally lost over
Why
an
the fuck is
hour.
this not coming out?
I
Yeah.
lost over an hour, and then I went back into my high speed. I seen that here is the length of time that in a chunk that I lost. Then I was able to review it with my boss, and he's like, "Oh, because you did it wrong." I was like, "Well, what the hell? Yeah, well, what was I supposed to do? How do you do it?" So, I was able to review, like loosening up bolts, not dropping the carriers fully out, and being able to do the slip joint, and just, a bunch of different things. And again, like you were saying, like with variables, they're all different. So not one is
Yep.
like the other. So, I took those lessons learned with all of my other jobs in the future.
Well, that's how
But
you learn is you fuck up.
yeah, yeah. And but the thing is though, is when you do fuck up, you have to have a great mentor behind you. Somebody
Yeah.
that supports you and wants to see you successful and succeed in your job, and that's not going to put you down.
Yeah.
And will always bring you up when you're down, especially down on yourself. So like
Yeah.
I really like to heavily promote, like, like there's a lot of theory that I didn't learn in life, but however, like with having a mentor and having the mentorship program that my company gives me, I have the ability to grow so much as a technician, to where if I didn't have a mentor, if I didn't have my company support the mentorship and my boss, I would be so many years behind in experience than I've been able to gain in these past 7 years at this company.
Well, it's like the term being thrown to the wolves,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
Is
well, but that's what it
I've
is.
met a woman that is like she's like my idol. Her name's Miranda Carter. I don't know if you know her. I don't
Mm.
know if you've seen her stuff. Um, Beautiful little blonde girl. Curvy, curvy blonde girl. And she's a mom, single mom, right? Like she's a little older than me. She's probably 2 or 3 years ahead of me in experience wise. Um, and we actually met on a Facebook page back in the day when there was like no Instagram, no TikTok, right? All there was Facebook. And we met on a diesel mechanic Facebook page, and we were actually shit talking each other
Oh my
originally,
God.
right? And then we ended up like talking to each other, and like, cause she thought I was just, which I would have done the same thing if I was in her shoes. She
Yeah.
thought I was just another girl that sort of tried to work on things and then posted it on social media to get attention.
Yeah.
And that's what she thought. And I like looking back, it's like, yeah, I would have thought the same thing about myself, right?
Yeah.
Um, because the unfortunate reality is there are definitely women that are in this industry for the wrong reasons, right?
Yes.
There are some women, not all, honestly, not even most, but there are some women that are in this industry because they want attention for it, not because it's actually a passion of theirs.
Right. Yeah. Because they think
You
it's
know,
sexy or
exactly,
attractive.
exactly. I've heard horror stories. I have
Yeah.
heard horror stories. I've heard horror stories of women that work in shops that don't think they have to buy tools, right? They think it's completely acceptable to just work out in the man's toolbox and that's just acceptable. Like, no, that's not fucking acceptable, but the boss is scared to say anything, right? Because they don't want to get fucking reported for sexism or something like that. So they're scared to say anything. And it's like you realize you're the reason why companies are scared to hire women, right?
Um,
Like,
hey, so Melissa, so if I decide to go for a job as a doctor, do I not show up with my stethoscope?
right? Right?
Jeez Louise, like, oh, yeah, no, no, and again, there's another weird thought and concept that I think a lot, male and female, like it, is that when you come out of school, you're going to be diagnosing with a laptop, or the other extreme would be that you're rebuilding an engine right from
Yeah.
school.
A
You
lot
know,
of kids coming out of trade school have a very, very skewed misconception
yeah.
of the first few years, what the first few years of their fucking career are going to look like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I love school and stuff like that. I international is starting to do a lot of apprenticeship programs, and I was able to visit a girl down there that's actually part of the apprenticeship program, and I got to understand it a little bit more. And let me tell you, I like, if you go to school or if you don't want to go to school, either way, like I definitely would say apprenticeship programs would
Oh
be
yeah.
a way
Yeah,
to go to
this is
be good
not
in this
10 years
industry.
ago.
Yeah.
Right? This is not 10 years ago. You can get your fucking if you want to be a mechanic, there are a lot of places that will pay for your education and pay for like a starter set as tools.
Yeah.
And pay you. Like there's so many opportunities right now. Like those opportunities were not fucking available when I first started into the industry. No. And just in the last like 5 or 6 years,
5.
It's been
5.
like like John Deere's doing it. Like John Deere dealerships do it. Cat does it. Like I didn't know this, but now International does it. There's so many places that, like you said, pay you an hourly wage, pay your schooling, and pay for a starter set of tools. Like you can't get much better than that. That's literally them handing you all of the tools and shit that you need to be successful in this industry. And this is like, I totally got off topic, but that's like why, like I have a lot of respect for Miranda, because she was literally the opposite, right? Yeah. She literally her grandma was actually a diesel mechanic, which is cool as fuck. She literally just started in a shop, right? No schooling, nothing. And she was literally just thrown to the wolves with it. But she's one of the rare cases that fucking swam like a motherfucker. Yep. She didn't drown or nothing. She fucking worked hard and she pushed, and she is now a service manager for a major Caterpillar dealership. That's I believe awesome. She was. And then she went back to turning wrenches because she hated sitting at a desk. But she's just, she's another woman that's just fucking badass. And she puts in the work and she puts in the time, and she doesn't expect to get treated differently besides the bathrooms, right? Like, or, uniforms would be nice, right? But she doesn't expect any special treatment. She doesn't expect anything. She just works. Yeah. And that's what I tell people all the time, is I get young women all the time like, well, how do I be successful? Like, how do I earn the respect of my coworkers? Because women have this very, very skewed image of the diesel industry, right? And I'm sure you've seen this. Like, this is not, like, obviously there are some sexism things, right? You can run into that in the industry. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. But for the most part, this industry is not some like scary evil thing, right? It is not. These men don't have fucking fangs and claws. Like, they're not. That's not how it is. But yeah, like, right, like they're just fucking guys, right? And for the most part, you start in a shop and they're kind of like your extended family, right? Yeah, like it's not some like evil entity. And that's what I've told women, like, if the only thing you need to get respect, like if you're working in the right shop for the right boss with the right moral values, right? Yeah. The only thing you need to gain respect in this industry is to show up, work your hours, and try hard. Put in the effort.